Goddamn, how can you stupid people continue to look at this guy? What do you guys all have like lobotomy? I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update, Turds in a Punch Bowl, which is something that ruins the party, that screws up every good thing we have, and it's also why we can never have anything nice. This is Robert. Did he just fucking say that? Kennedy. If you don't know who I'm talking about, he's the shitty Kennedy, the Kennedy that all the other Kennedys have pulled the ripcord on. And they all came out for Biden. Let's go over the thoughts and policies of this HGH pumped up Bane with laryngitis. Robert Kennedy believes that vaccines cause autism, even though that has been studied and proven wrong for decades. In fact, 0 studies show that vaccines cause autism, and I got that information through the microchip that came in the COVID vaccine. So, Robert Kennedy, this man who burp speaks.
I got struck with a disease, a neurological disease. I cannot listen to myself.
In a series of sounds that, frankly, if he was president, would probably make the UN disband on its own to avoid hearing his presidential address to the General Assembly. However, me going after his voice is a cheap shot, an easy attack that frankly has nothing to do with what the man believes, because what happened to his voice is just a neurological injury that could happen to any of us. What he believes, on the other hand, is batshit crazy, and he chose that. Besides believing that vaccines cause autism with 0 evidence, he also believes that 9/11 was a conspiracy. Wi-Fi causes cancer, or leaky brain, which, by the way, is a great name for a punk band. Robert Kennedy Jr. also believes that antidepressants cause school shootings, and I thought it was access to guns. Stupid, stupid, stupid! He also believes chemicals in our water can turn children transgender, and that HIV isn't the cause of AIDS, except for the 4 decades of research that show that it does. RFK is currently suing the Biden administration for censoring him. Really? Really, they're censoring you, bro. The same administration that lets a treasonous insurrectionist say what he wants and continue to run for president, but they're going after you. A dude who thinks the moon landing didn't happen, or who wants to seal the border and believes that the U.S. started the war in Ukraine. And to be fair, this amazingly flawed narcissist was an environmental attorney who actually helped clean up the Hudson River. But as they say, even a broken clock is right twice a day, but only in one time zone. RFK's time zone is just another independent version of the extreme morons that currently have infected the right wing. In fact, most of RFK's donors are Republicans, because they know, like Russian-backed Jill Stein and misguided, full of himself douchebag Ralph Nader, that this perpetually gargling spoiler isn't just getting involved in and possibly ruining the Democratic campaign of Joe Biden. He's actually getting involved in an election where the Republican nominee has said he will be a dictator on day one.
He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, no, other than day one.
And will take vengeance on all those who spoke out against him.
I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
While trying to get his 91 felonies dismissed based on free speech.
If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol. They're poisoning the blood of our country. They said, oh, Hitler said that.
And no one censored him. And be clear, RFK Jr. is not just running for president. He's running to end the Democratic presidency and our system of government and the freedom it affords forever. So, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And Robert Kennedy Jr., what you can do for your country is sit down and shut the fuck up. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get sued for censorship. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God, why do these psychopaths think they can run for president? Does everybody think they can run for president now? Look, dude, just because your name is Kennedy doesn't mean you have any ability whatsoever. And the crazy shit you believe, my God, you know what? Sometimes you make Trump look sane. It's so funny as you get older and you start to realize everybody's narcissism is
But also,
crazy.
you're telling young girls that are starting comedy that they need to make themselves small to make other people comfortable.
Right.
Are you?
From day one, remember, you and I talked about it. You said I have to. I go, no, you don't.
You know who
no.
changed it?
Who?
It was Dan Godfrey. I always told him this. He came up to me angry and he goes,
Oh, that first night. That's
I
right.
don't know this girl.
Yeah.
Because I came in a flannel and whatever. And he goes, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm just trying not to be too blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I don't know this girl. Be yourself. And I was like, all right. So I always told him. He was always very proud when I would tell him thank you for that.
Yeah.
Right. All right, guys. This is awesome. What a great conversation. Hello, everybody. Christopher
What
Titus.
was wrong with that conversation? It was actually riveting.
I know it was great. I wasn't kidding.
It's my hairspray.
By the way, you and I have so much sarcasm between us that we have stopped understanding that when someone's actually being authentic.
I don't know anything anymore.
It also takes some of the heat off the guys because the girls will judge each other like a billion times worse than men will ever.
Why do you think girls wear makeup and dress
Yeah, it's
up?
not for us.
No,
I'm telling you, it is not for us. We
you.
do not
No,
care.
they don't like
No.
us. You get that women don't.
Oh,
like
yeah.
us.
I didn't say that.
Right.
I just said it's definitely not for you.
I'm Christopher Titus. Welcome to the Titus Podcast. With me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray
What's up, people?
and the Highlander.
There can be other one.
Do you have any power?
Speaking of women not liking their men, how did Cheryl Hines end up with Robert Kennedy? How did that happen?
Who's Cheryl Hines?
She was the she played the wife of Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm. She's an actress, blonde,
Nope.
very
Like-
attractive.
Toothy?
Toothy. See, you're doing it. You are doing it.
I think I know who she is.
You say, "Oh, is she Toothy?"
All I said was Toothy. I didn't say Toothy was a bad thing. I just said
Toothy is a bad thing.
Hi, I like teeth. I had teeth put in. I
You
put
do love
veneers
teeth.
on. I like teeth. Look at teeth. I married teeth.
You did.
Do you think toothy is a bad adjective for a woman to call another woman?
She's kind of toothy. It's
That's what
It's not a compliment.
That's not really good. She's kind of toothy.
okay. She's
You don't even recognize it.
I
Oh
see
my
it a
God.
little differently. I see it like some way, like with just. You ever seen those people with?
I was trying to figure out who Cheryl Hines was. And I said she's kind of toothy, and he thinks I'm bad.
I leave. I go like, oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but I think it's toothy and gummy. I think.
I'm gonna look her up while
All right,
you guys talk.
Can I start again?
Oh no, this has been
Are we
so.
already rolling?
We never stopped.
Oh, good. So I had to go get you power, and you guys kept doing the podcast. So that was
Now
all
you
right.
guys understand. Every man that's listening or watching is like, I totally get it. My wife never has her phone charger
Yeah.
or whatever. So
By the way, every time we go, anyway, I say, babe, do you have a charger? She knows she's doing this
It's daily.
She knows she's doing this. She's on the way to the place where she needs a charger for a computer. By the way, the night before, she could be like, you know what? What if I charge my computer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wyatt
but
gets
no.
better. Wyatt is, I got him trained now because he uses our phone to do our laundry. That's his one chore. I got him doing one chore
with his phone,
he has an old phone.
yeah.
And it has the app for the laundry machine. This is riveting.
I'm sorry, wait, the
podcasting, isn't
laundry
it?
machine
Yeah.
has Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. But it does. You have to. It's a
Scan
nightmare. You have to scan it
To pay for
to pay
it.
for it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. So you don't have to have because nobody has change anymore.
And that was a pain in
Yeah.
the coins. By the way, a long time ago, there was these things. They were round
Yeah.
metal. You put them into stuff. Yeah.
Back in the olden days, the medieval days. And then you have to roll up your pants because it's flooded. Like it's always flooded,
Yeah.
like 4 feet.
Yeah.
Anyway, he knows to charge his phone.
We got to get you moved to a better place.
work. Yes.
Yeah, he
working
knows
on
that.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I say that the one thing that so right now, because there's no cash, because when you got dollars and coins, there's a finite amount of cash floating. Once we came for this imaginary hit the thing and pay with no transfer of paper,
Yeah.
our system is so shaky right now. It's so paper
Yeah.
because there's no paper.
Yes.
It's all made up, like
it's
Bitcoin.
all agreed. It's yeah.
That's another thing that
But
RFK
paper
is
was
really.
agreed on.
I love
too.
that. I love they were like, it's already made up as it is. How do we make it even less
Even more made
stable?
up.
I know. There's
Let's
a thing
not
called
back
a
it with
Bitcoin.
anything.
yeah. Let's just,
and just make up numbers
Right.
and let someone else run it
yeah.
and
Who we don't know.
steal it, who we've never met before.
This sounds like this is a financial plan that I believe is going to work
You
forever.
actually said this to Billy because Billy was thinking about buying. He
I'm
said
going to buy a whole Bitcoin. I'm going to keep it and put it. And I go, what is it? And he goes, well, you put it on a memory and you put it in a safe. And I go, you put it like a hard drive in a safe. He goes, yeah, that's where you store the Bitcoin. I go, okay, what is it?
It is backed though. It's backed by a lot of ones but a lot of zeros too.
right.
so that it is backed. There's a lot of numbers.
What do you
behind
mean?
it.
Backed by what?
Let me
Ones
hold
and
on.
some
Let me
zeros.
get Sam Bankman-Fried on the phone. Oh, I can't.
He can't.
Oh,
He's in, forever.
He's in prison for 25 years.
But he can pay his way out with ones and zeros.
They said they're missing $6 million from Bankman-Fried. They just
so
can't
when he
find it.
gets out, he needs a little soft landing.
By the way, here's how shitty of a business person he is. You only grifted $6 million out of $2 billion. Dude, you suck. You suck. Like, you're the worst criminal ever. You know, what Trump would have done 400 million would have just been gone. In fact, let's go to the casino. 900 million.
Let me go to the internet, the zeros and ones, the home of zeros and ones,
Yes.
to ask about Bitcoin. Backing a currency is done by the currency's issuer to ensure its value. Bitcoin is not backed by any other asset. But Bitcoin has value despite no backing because it has properties of sound money.
What bullshit did you just say?
Yeah.
What is
You know,
sound?
that
what-
sounds like the word. That sounds like a guy. Did someone from an alley write that?
Did Bernie Madoff write that?
Come here. Hey, come here. No, it's backed by sound money. Where?
To be fair, our dollar isn't really backed by anything
No,
anymore
thank you, Nixon.
either. Yeah,
Right.
so I mean, I guess it's all made up. But
Yeah, at this point.
the problem is Bitcoin does not have a centralized entity like the dollar does that enforces its value and also isn't backed by any commodity. So many people mistakenly think that means Bitcoin has no value.
Wait, you just said that Bitcoin
Has no value.
By the way, Bitcoin has no value, but people think that it has no value.
Don't go back to the sentence.
Stupids. Big stupids.
You bunch of, bunch of stupids. What the fuck? And here's the thing. I remember I was working out when I was at the gym, working out with Presto, and there was three guys that were just like into Bitcoin. Dude, it went up 13,000, man. I'm making money hand over fist. And then he did it for like, 3 months later, he just came in bummed out. I go, oh man, what happened? He goes, man, Bitcoin dropped like 27 grand. And I was like, oh, but it's not. But
Bitcoin was created by a person or group that to this day remains unidentified.
So Anonymous made it.
So wait,
We're being trolled? Is that what it is?
doesn't this sound like a total con setup?
Totally.
Also, Bitcoin does not offer any true anonymity. If people are saying I take Bitcoin instead of the dollar, the government's success in tracking and retrieving part of the Bitcoin ransom paid to the hacking collective DarkSide in the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack has heightened doubts also about the security and non-traceability.
Hold on. Let me ask. Are you saying that if you put something in a computer and send it to another computer, that's possible to be tracked? Wait.
And it
you
has
mean
value.
There's an electronic signature in every device we have. Yet, if you had a wad of paper and I go, here, no one knows where that came from.
I'll tell you, because my brother is Homeland Security investigator, and what I have learned about how nothing ever goes away and nothing is hidden. Nothing. My brother subpoenas
Yeah, you think you
things
deleted
all
stuff?
day long. Oh, you can never delete your cloud. Everything that you do, everything you look at goes to the cloud. And my brother can view your cloud from his desk, which when he gets warrants, he doesn't do that for fun. He gets
Supposedly.
warrants. And with a warrant sitting in an office in the middle of some state in the United States away from this target, he looks at their cloud. He looks at their social media. He looks at their DMs in their social. I mean, it's like crazy
And then-
what people can subpoena.
What he's finding is he's finding like all these guys who were child. He basically, by the way, Ray's brother. It just wouldn't surprise anybody. He basically takes on pedophiles.
Yeah.
Not
And
basically.
like evil, like bad dudes who are doing like live streams with the horrible shit. So he takes them down, and so that he can access all of them and all these guys that have tried to delete it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yeah.
As soon as if they find out they're a target, they delete. There's
Yeah,
no
delete their history.
And then my brother's like, okay, here
Put
it
it
is
in the
again.
Bitcoin bank.
But that makes me think of this. Okay. while Bitcoin, even the article about Bitcoin trying to make it sound better makes it sound worse.
And it's also written by
While
anonymous.
Bitcoin has failed in its stated objectives, it has become a speculative investment, which is puzzling. It has no intrinsic value and is not backed by anything. But Bitcoin devotees will tell you that, like gold, its value comes from its scarcity. Bitcoin's computer algorithm mandates a fixed cap of 21 million digital coins.
What?
It's scarcity. You said it's nothing.
That's the most scarce item is nothing.
What are you talking? It's the
De Beers
What?
diamond.
I just love that
Thing.
every.
Yeah, but that's a thing.
I
You can
just love
touch
that
it.
True.
everything
It's true.
you've read.
Okay,
There's
right.
no counterpoint. Everything she's read so far in 3 different
But
articles
it's
is
a
like
rock.
it's worth
I guess
nothing.
is my point. We had a
Yes.
rock that you could rub a long time.
It's pretty.
it
Shiny
would get
rock.
prettier. And
gold.
then De Beers bought all the rocks. And then suddenly everyone was like, we want those rocks.
Like,
Because they
one
couldn't
at a
get
time.
Yeah.
So when I was getting ready. Actually, after we had to get that one replaced, I started looking into this whole De Beers thing, and I know what it was.
This
I
is
got
when
you.
you were
I got
buying
you the
it.
big. I got you the big ring. The
Shh, it's not a big ring.
It's not that big.
It's very small.
I'm still fixing cars.
To be fair,
Yeah.
According to a lot of websites, ladies, if you're getting married, go look at this. An engagement ring should be 3 months of his salary.
They made that shit up, though, right? That's
And-
a De Beers. That's a
dude,
marketing
dude,
thing.
Due to
didn't-
scarcity,
No, dude.
you believe
not
it
real.
because we say you have to do it,
So it's
and
either
it's
the-
a thing.
it's
And
either
I
the head
found
of
it
De
on the
Beers-
internet.
And
It's
we
either-
just see teeth and
It's either the head of De Beers or a woman made that up. Well, I believe 3 months.
3 months salary, which I don't know anybody that's done that. You included. You didn't.
I think we live in that. We live inside of the thing that
My house.
you just can't put
that I
it,
live in?
our house. You just can't put it on your house.
It's in my house
Because
because you said that was for me, right?
Happy anniversary.
Forever.
I just want to say that we De Beers is, so I looked it up. So De Beers is this company that bought pretty much almost all the world's diamond mines because there are a shitload of diamonds, but they're just like,
yeah, they're not rare. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even. You can make them. You can make them actually
Oh, that's-
more
well,
perfect.
Well, now those lab created diamonds are fetus.
yeah, they're not bad. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
perfect.
Yeah. So
But you can make 'em
why?
perfect.
I don't understand. Are those cheaper?
a little bit, but those have gone up too because I think De Beers even limited the supply more.
Oh my god,
But
so stupid.
It look like the whole fucking world's a scam. I'm coming over today.
Yes.
I'm coming over today, and all I'm thinking of is like we've got fucking the Frito-Lay company taking chips out of bags. Like Biden brought this up.
Oh yeah.
The
This
shrinkflation
is all
thing.
he cares about.
Yeah.
He
And by the
wants
way,
more
it does-
chips.
By the way, it does sound dumb when a president brings it up.
It's
like,
not
dude,
dumb,
dude,
it's old man
dude,
shit.
do me a favor. Yeah, it definitely is. You know, the ice cream was smaller.
The ice cream.
I used to have this ice cream used to make me happy. Now I'm get done and I'm just depressed. So he's right, and stop talking about it. Let someone else
Yes.
talk about it. Talk about healthcare. There you go.
Yeah,
Healthcare.
sure.
Big shit.
Big
Fix the
items.
roads.
Come on.
The bridge fell down. Help.
Yeah. Which he's doing too. Talk
He's
about
doing
the
that
big
too.
things.
But it's so funny how it makes everything else sound stupid when he brings up potato chips. And I like Biden. I'm going to vote for him. But I mean, he's like, dude, just someone. You know what he needs? He needs a street advisor.
Yeah. Now's not the time.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like, Israel killing innocent people.
Yeah.
He's all over that
At
too,
war with Hamas. The Trump dismantling democracy. The Taiwan earthquake. I mean, it's like people are dying. Climate change.
It's no joke. There's less chips in the bag. It's no joke.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Stop talking about the chips, man. I know you're handling everything else too, but every time you talk about the chips, we go, you sound crazy. Stop talking about the chips. So RFK. So I had a real problem this morning. It's funny because there's been times I couldn't write an Armageddon update because there wasn't something going on. Now since Trump came along, it's easy. But we've been beating the shit out of Trump pretty much for years now, since 2016. And as a matter of fact, I was actually relieved last week when we did the one about P. Diddy. Did he do it?
Yep.
Go look at Did he
Same.
do it about Puff Daddy. Why didn't they arrest him, by the way?
Isn't
Isn't that crazy? All the
doesn't
shit
mean
coin.
it's not happening yet.
Yeah, it's in the works, right?
Yeah, but
one of his 19 mansions are still being raided.
But if they, I mean, here's what I don't get. Just to go, this is the recap of what we did last week. We kind of went after all the crazy shit he's done and stuff we've heard about, and the thing. But my problem is, if they went after all of his houses, they raided him. They had his plane, and they didn't arrest him. Isn't that like?
Did he leave the country? Is that what? Is that what he did?
I don't know.
Do you want me to call someone who can tell us really quickly?
Yes. Can you call
Can
right
I
now?
phone a friend?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, go. Go ahead, phone a friend.
I don't know if he'll answer.
This is way too fast for the song.
So
right here.
Bueno.
Hey, don't say your name or anything. I'm going to put you on the
Stay
podcast.
incognito.
Be incognito, but we need a generic answer to a question. Okay.
Okay.
In like, for example, that Puff Daddy raids that they did in LA and Miami, why would HSI not have arrested anyone yet? Does that mean they could still, or what?
Or they didn't find anything.
In any case, why would that be?
Why would they not have what?
Arrested him yet? Or any arrests? Why would you have a raid with no arrests?
It actually happens all the time. You have enough information that you know there's going to be evidence, but you want to get the evidence first. And so you will secure electronic devices to get the evidence. And then once you find the information that you're looking for, you will file for an indictment through the court.
So they could be talking to witnesses right now.
All I know is this: on CSI, it happens in about 4 minutes. So I don't quite understand is we've been told that within an
Before
hour,
the commercial break.
within an hour, not only is he arrested, he's in jail. This seems like bullshit to me.
How long does this take? Can't you just download Dropbox that shit?
If I told you how long it took, you wouldn't believe me. So it varies per case, but sometimes it's months and months and months.
Okay, got it. And that has been generic law enforcement officer speculation and update. Thank you.
Thank you, generic officer.
I love you, sir. Bye.
I also love you, generic officer.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Boom.
Yeah, they can never figure that out. You know what? You were fine up to I love you, and then it was.
So witnesses going through electronic devices that they've seized.
They probably have to, you don't have to legally give you the security code. You can, look, if you had crime on your phone and they were like, give us the code so we can go through you.
They don't
find
need
your
the code.
crime. Oh, I know, but they have to break it. Oh no! I forgot. Apple has a thing.
And then grab the phone.
Break your face. Is where they gotta break.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. So that's still in process. I guess if they hadn't found anything, they would have made an announcement. But so they're actually obviously going through everything.
Turns out law enforcement doesn't feel the need to make announcements so that podcasts can follow along.
We need shit to talk about, don't
You're
they
right,
understand?
though. It is we're used to watching CSI or Suits or whatever, where within 44 minutes, people go down.
That's who did it.
Super fascinated by what's going on today in the Aline Cannon courtroom, finally, or filings that are happening surrounding
can we
that
talk about this
documents case.
Before we go to RFK, then I'll talk about this.
Okay, sorry.
This woman has no business being on the bench.
No.
Now, it's not a surprise that Trump put her there, but they even said that so he never got fired. He never got charged with the Presidential Records Act. He didn't get charged with that. He got charged with espionage.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that because he's the president, the Presidential Records Act says he gets to keep everything.
Which actually is the opposite.
It's the
of
opposite.
What the PRA
The
says.
Presidential Records Act was filed because Nixon was keeping shit he wasn't supposed to keep. And they're like, no, fucker, you can't hold on to shit.
But he's figured out if he just says the name Presidential Records Act, then his people are like, yeah, that means he can keep them records. What's interesting is, so she has refused to make any rulings, which we talked about, because I told you then it's not appealable. So then Jack Smith has nothing to appeal to go above her head and get her off the case.
And she can drag the case way out.
Yes, which she has done. Look at how far down the road we are now.
Right.
But Trump never said his defense and what he's filed has not been that some were his personal documents. But she said this week with this weird ruling, she's asking them to give jury instructions. And
there's no jury, by the way.
There's no trial date.
There's no trial date. There's no jury.
And
we need jury instructions. Did we miss something?
She said option number 1 she proposes is that Trump, under the PRA, can decide which of those records are his personal records.
Right. Totally.
Or
that makes sense.
God.
So that makes a lot. So some president can
or
get all the top
option
secret
number
documents.
2, the jury can see all these top secret nuclear capabilities, all kinds of stuff they should never see, and they can decide which ones they think are his. But what's funny is that wasn't his defense. Because he hasn't even been saying that. He's been going on Hannity and everywhere else saying, he can declassify them with his mind.
But he said, just that I took them out of the White House means they're declassified.
However, we have a recording of him, which he knew he was being recorded. It was with a reporter, and he's showing her a top secret level classified document that was given to him as president under Milley, and it was war strategy. And he's making fun of Milley, going, yeah, look at this. And then he says, I just heard it again before I walked in. He says, I guess I shouldn't be showing you that, though, because it's classified. As president, I could have classified it, but I didn't. So I probably shouldn't be showing you that. So it's off the record.
So right fucking
he
there.
flat out says,
there.
I didn't. I can't show you.
But let's go back to canon. So just the two things that she said, the two different classifications. Number 1, so this judge who's dealing with the first case of a president, by the way, people don't get this. This happens all the time. They all do it. No, they don't. This is the first guy that's gotten numerous felonies charged against him as ever as president, ever. So, and the 3 presidents that just had their meeting with Stephen Colbert last week had a little thing at the raise the cashy cash. Yeah. Those guys, none of them, not indicted for anything.
And she is concocting just more ways to delay.
But she's not just making shit up. She's making up shit that's not legal. Like Ray's got a criminal justice degree. Ray is so good. Like, we'll be watching TV in the news, and half the shit I say, Ray said while we were in the bedroom. She's go, you can't do that because of this and this. And I'm like,
while we were in the bedroom.
Boom. With our computers open and our glasses on.
Talking about Jack Smith. Yeah.
It doesn't get waka waka chicka bow.
Listen to RFK's voice.
So wait. So she said that. This is crazy to me. So the 2 things she said is that the jury needs to decide whether Donald Trump can okay documents. So a bunch of people, just random fucks, are going civilians are going to decide whether the president can keep or not keep any top secret classified documents. That's number 1. Number 2 is they get to look at everything and Bob, me and him sitting in the jury room going, hey man, holy shit, how many weapons do we got, man?
This whole jury is going to be all Russian guys.
Yes, I would.
I like this idea.
I believe that I can very much rule fairly. Can I see the documents?
What was crazy was
but none of it makes any sense.
Also listening, when this first happened, they interviewed people like Ty Cobb, who had represented Trump, and different legal experts, and even the judge, the conservative judge.
Dingleberry, what's his name?
It starts with an L and 6 letters.
Loser. No, that's
the guy that testified in the J6 hearings. Anyway,
Luddick.
Luddick.
He's cool.
Everyone
I've got you to a
person said, well, he sped it up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the most airtight case. I listened to him saying that even they played Barr saying he done fucked up, and the case is airtight. He is clearly in violation of the law.
Right.
It's so perfectly laid out by Jack Smith. That's going to be the one that's not appealable. That's it. And somehow he gets this judge that he appointed who had 0 trial experience, none. And he put her
same with Comey Barrett.
Somewhere in his state so that he took this case to her. If you guys remember, he moved and filed in her, and she got the case. And so now all she's doing is dragging it out. Because remember, she said that they had to appoint a special counsel. Then she got it reversed on that. She's been reversed twice already by the appellate court, 2 of whom are appointed by Trump.
Well, Jack Smith filed today, and he goes, you need to rule on this so we can appeal it. But she's not going to. So So this goes back again. This goes back to what I always say, and I want to point out the guys that started Truth Social went on the stock exchange. The two guys that started it have now are being sued by Trump, and they're suing Trump. People, here's what I want everyone to realize: everybody from that we know that gets involved with this fucking dude gets sued, loses everything, ends up getting drugged through the media. George Conway did today. Remember Kellyanne Conway was the mouthpiece for the Trump administration. Remember that, where she said alternative facts.
Yep,
those are lies. Alternative facts are lies. Yes. They divorced, and today George Conway gave $997,000 to
Biden.
$900 and almost $1 million to the Biden campaign.
Wow.
That's, by the way, he was married to the person who was the right-hand man for Trump. And he's like, no, fuck this guy, Biden. So, and we've got, of the 44 people that Trump had on his cabinet, which is crazy, 40 of them have come out of the 44 and said, do not elect this man president. So, at one point, our little tiny podcast is not going to make a difference if the stupid people are the stupids. Can we call them the stupids? I love it.
I always say you big stupids.
The big stupids. The big stupids will keep voting for this dipshit no matter what we say.
Yeah.
So that's why we went after RFK. So RFK, and here's the thing, every angle they're using. So they've tried voter restrictions.
Yes.
They've tried voter restrictions to get this dude elected.
They didn't try it. They did it.
You're right. They fucking did it. You're absolutely right. They did voter restrictions. They've done, they're limiting voting. They're doing everything they can. They're still claiming that it's, the election was stolen. And the big stupids still believe it. The big stupids are like, yep, it was definite. There was definitely something afoot. Well, if that's the case, then how come the Republican that won on the same ballot that the president was on, how come he got elected? Yeah. How come we didn't just clean house then? If you're going to fucking steal an election, don't be pussies about it. For God's sake, steal it. Yeah. All the Republicans lost. I mean, Herschel Walker. So Herschel Walker, did he?
Oh, wow.
Gosh. Do you remember? Do you remember how bad it got?
Wow. What was the thing about vampires? Remember
Dr.
vampires.
Oz?
Oh, wow.
We had Dr. Oz and Herschel Walker was running.
Yeah. So let's just finish this Eileen Cannon thing. Why we brought it up?
So why we brought it up is that Jack Smith has filed now, but here's the problem. I think she's being cagey because if she doesn't make a ruling, he can't go to the appellate court and get her taken off.
So there are at least 9 motions in front of her filed by Trump's team. At least 9. Ranging from immunity, vindictive prosecution, blah, blah, blah. Trump has also filed a request for information from a ton of different government entities, including Biden White House. She hasn't decided on Jack Smith's plea that certain witness information be shielded from public view because it's top secret. Do you see the difference in the two requests?
But here's my problem.
So what I'm saying is there are countless motions before her, and she's not ruling on anything. Because then it's appealable, and then in that appeal, they can request, this is their 3rd time to have her removed from the case. She said in March in a hearing, she said, I can assure you that in the background, there's a great deal of judicial work going on. While it may not appear on the surface that anything at all is happening, there's a ton of work being done in the background.
So here's the problem. We don't have a mechanism to fix this right now. Because we've never had a fucking criminal like this who basically put his mobster, his henchman in. Like, she's a henchman. Let's be fucking clear. Yeah. Eileen Cannon is a henchman, as is Coney Barrett, as is Beer Goggles. Everybody. They're henchmen. They're fucking
I like beer.
Alito is they're henchmen. So now, but here's what I don't get. But one more thing. When you vote, people, here's why I want you to vote Democrat. By the way, first of all, the country always makes more money under Democrats. You want to make more money? Vote Democrat. Look up the records. I'm not making that up. All the way back to Eisenhower, who's the last Republican that did anything worth a shit. So that's the reason I vote. People always say, Titus, you're such a libtard. No, I just make more money under Democrats. If anything, I'm a capitalist who wants to make who's going to make me the most money? Oh, these guys who also want to help the homeless? Fuck it. I'll go. That's a bonus. So vote Democrat. Here's why. The only way to fix this shit so it doesn't happen again is to get enough people in the House and the Senate to put in new laws so this doesn't happen. So if we get a judge
our founding fathers never could foresee this kind
Right,
of
because they were like, we got a new country, we're going to be great, integrity and freedom,
liberty and
freedom,
and then all ages except for ladies.
Later,
And
250 years later, I'm going to be a dictator on day one. Whoa.
But he was already, that's some dictator shit already, is that the fact that he put these henchmen on the Supreme Court
And he
and
was doing
these
it.
judges.
Yeah.
So Jack Smith filed, he said in that filing today that her briefings and her ordered briefings were based on a fundamentally flawed understanding of the case. Also means you stupid. And that they have no basis in law or fact. Then critiqued her request for jury instructions and then told her that he would seek an appellate court review if she accepted Trump's arguments about his own record retention powers. So that's happening. So I'm hoping that means
she's fucking embarrassing.
Yes.
And when Jack Smith, who's taking down war criminals at The Hague, this guy's legit. He actually took down just to be clear, because Jack Smith is a psycho. He took down Gary, what's his face, when he was a youngster, the guy, Democrat.
John?
Oh, John Edwards. John Edwards John Edwards was going to be a Democrat, was running for president.
Yeah.
And he took him down. This guy doesn't give a shit if you're a Democrat.
And what did he take him down for? Just like
campaign stuff.
Yeah, and he had a love child with a lady friend that worked in his campaign, even though he was married.
And that wasn't the crime. The crime was that he was hiding it and paying people off.
Yes,
that's the crime.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's why people go the Stormy Daniels thing. So no. Stormy, yes, you want to pay a porn star and you want to fuck her while your wife is raising your newborn. Look, that's you being a psycho. But when you hide it because you're running for president,
right?
That's a
illegal.
crime.
Yes.
That's illegal. Yes. So,
Sue.
Speaking of Sue, he said he comes out.
Andrew Weissman.
Andrew Weissman comes out and goes, "I've never heard him be this clean. He's very well thoughtful and he's very we love Sue and he's very thoughtful. He just comes out and goes, she's obviously in the bag for Trump.
In the bag.
She's obviously in the bag for Trump.
Because everyone for a long time kept hoping, you don't want to, she's inexperienced. She doesn't know the law very well.
So let's give her the one case that we've had in our entire 250-year history.
President.
Yeah, let's give her that case. Not Judd Luttig, who bring him back out of retirement, or somebody big that can handle it. Let's give she's wearing a paper trainee fucking hat, and we're like, hey, by the way, this case never been tried before. We've never known what to do with a new president. Why don't you take it?
Wow.
He's a moron. Wow. How about you and I go play in the NFL? Yeah. That's what she's doing. Yeah. We're going to fight Tyson. Okay, ready? On three. Whoever does it.
Well, we actually played sports before, so we would do pretty well.
You and I are going to be Logan Paul, whatever, and go fight Tyson.
You're going to have to edit out me sniffling.
Oh yeah, I've already made mental cuts to myself.
Okay.
So
you or for me?
So back to Trump running all this stuff. Because by the way, if these cases go to trial, we get to see, the cameras will be in the thing. We'll see all the evidence. When we see the evidence and what he did, even the hardcore Trumpers are going to be like, "Did that guy?
I don't know if they'll have. Will they have cameras?
They had them in. They sure as hell.
But this is classified documents.
Oh, they can't do that. Well, that's another big problem. Is that? So wait. So we're also giving this totally inexperienced judge, this fucking low-level rookie, all the top secret classified documents, and she gets to decide what happens to those too? It's the dumbest shit we've ever done.
Yes.
And it's all connected to Trump. When you look at the downfall of America since 2016, and look at it, everything from COVID, fucked that up. He fucked it up royally. Comes to the way the economy tanked, it was under Trump. When it comes down to there's every time I hear that there was that great thing where the guy was getting interviewed and he goes, the guy goes, yeah, where was, I think it was Jordan Klepper, where was Obama on 9/11? He goes, yeah, where was Obama on 9/11? Why wasn't he in his office? Well, because he wasn't president then.
Yeah, I think he was in college.
Yeah, he was trying to go, I like this girl, Michelle. That's what he was doing. So when you got all that stuff going on and you've got these dumb people who don't quite understand that this guy fucked up. When I see Trump running neck and neck with Biden,
it blows
like there was nothing in the stores. We couldn't buy stuff. Ray was staying up all night because Amazon opened up their new stuff at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.
Remember that? So I could get meat. Couldn't find meat.
She was like
toilet paper, any paper product.
She was gaming the system.
She was she quick drawed it, man. She would be like, all right, hold on, she's watching the clock on the computer.
I sent listeners Clorox wipes because
So
I could find
people
them and
forget
make them.
how bad it was. We didn't have toilet. We had people breaking out into fights over butt wipe. That's not okay. And then we ran up $7 trillion in debt under this fuck. The one company he backed for the vaccine didn't work. Then he got it. Told 1 million died, and you guys are like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we were better off under him. Were we? Because
Here's the other thing too. I mean, just even things now, because something new happened every day under him. It was so stressful.
It's horrible.
But he's now saying that immediately he will release the January 6th. He calls them hostages immediately. So what people don't stop and think about is every single one of those people was convicted by a jury of their peers, not Democrats.
It wasn't Putin. Putin didn't. It
And
wasn't a
every
dictator.
single, just about all of those ended up in jail. The people that actually got jail was for assaulting police officers in some manner.
No. They backed the blue. Don't you? No, wait. Sorry, you've got this wrong. The Republicans and the right conservatives back the blue.
But he's going to release them all. And even just that alone, someone saying
He actually can't.
vote me in, and then I'm going to release. Well, he could pardon people depending on, because they were federal charges.
But I think what you just said is exactly right. These were violent offenders because, again, we didn't round them up and we didn't Navalny anybody. We didn't Navalny anybody. These guys had long. Remember how long it took to get these guys convicted? Do you remember how long it took to convict them?
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, even regardless of how you feel about January 6th, this is a guy saying, if I'm president, I am going to interfere with our judicial system and that process that we're supposed to have faith in and trust, that a random group of people as a jury was selected, looked at evidence and convicted these people, voted to convict these people. But I'm going to do away with all that because I don't like it. It's like, even just that I don't get it.
It's insane.
It's insane.
I think this is part of the reason that RFK is running.
Thanks for bringing it around.
It's because there's nothing but bad press. He's in court every fucking day.
Yeah, there's no
he
upside.
says some crazy shit all the fucking time, constantly.
They're literally making judgments. Dude, stop saying crazy shit.
Yeah.
You have to stop.
This is what made me think of it, because it was a Times headline. Trump denies elections and praises the rioters, but RFK Jr. says it's Biden who threatens democracy. That's what made me think.
So here's what Ken had a great point. The reason that we go tell him, reason that we have RFK running is so Trump doesn't look as fucking nuts.
Yeah, he can peel off some votes if he can just take a little bit away from Biden and make Trump not as fucking insane looking. Yeah. Just fucking with his fucking Bigfoot conspiracies and crazy shit.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Vaccines cause autism. 9/11 was a hoax.
Yep.
Was a conspiracy.
Is this the best we can do?
He's a chaos agent.
Yep.
And
as was Ralph Nader.
Yep. He's backed by a PAC, the same PAC that donated to Marjorie Taylor Greene and George Santos, which were also just fucking noisemakers. So this is another ploy to get Trump in office. So that the fucking...
And this is some Steve Bannon shit. Steve Bannon, those guys, because Steve Bannon, say what you will, he is a supervillain. Him and Roger Stone are supervillains. They you got to remember, people forget this. Roger Stone worked for Nixon.
Yeah.
He worked for Richard Nixon. Yeah. So Roger Stone's been criming a long time. Steve Bannon's been criming a long time. And these fucking guys, because Trump's just base level street criminal. He really is. When you go to all these, that's what I'm saying. These guys gave him, the two guys that he's suing right now on True Social are the guys that have said, hey man, why don't you start your own thing? You can get all the conservative. They started it. They brought it to him. They were on The Apprentice with him.
He fucking makes every relationship that he has toxic.
Yes.
And we want to put that guy back in as a fucking leader of the United States.
You remember
we've already our democracy is already gone.
Let's go one time. Do you remember when he did the thing where he stood in front of the burned out church with the Bible?
Yes.
Okay. So, and again, the one thing about the guy is he never gets it right. He can't. He didn't go in front of a nice church. He didn't go in. You didn't go in the church because if he goes in the church, lightning hits the church.
Yes.
So he went to
black hole opens up. He went to
already a burned out church.
Yeah.
That was boarded up that he couldn't go in. I couldn't go in. It was boarded up.
Yeah. Do you remember what he did to get there?
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up. So he takes Milley out in the streets like some third world dictatorship. He's walking with his generals. They're tear gassing everybody.
Yes.
And then
protesters.
Do you remember what happened?
Not violent.
Do you remember what Milley did the next week?
Apologize.
Milley came out and said, "I don't know what I was doing. I was out there. We should never have that in America." General Milley is the biggest guy to speak out again, and Bill Barr, his AG, spoke out against him. Everybody who worked with this fuck in the same room is saying the guy's a piece of shit, and we still have the stupids keep going, yeah, but he's my piece of shit.
After he spent his entire fucking campaign saying that he knows he's going to bring in the best people, the whole swamp thing, and then all these people are either in fucking jail or they're like,
speaking
this guy's
out
a
against
fucking
him.
nightmare.
Mark Esper just came out.
Hope Hicks flipped on him.
Oh yeah, she's going to be testifying in the hush money.
His sidekick.
So Politico looked at his RFK's donors. This could be, if it's true, at least make you feel a little bit better. He's getting checks from past Trump donors at a much higher rate than Joe Biden.
Yes. I read that today.
Which is a sign that the presidential hopeful may pull more from the Republican electorate than Democratic. Also show that he has gotten millions of dollars from donors who gave nothing in the last two presidential elections, suggesting he's activating people who were turned off by both parties. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I believe that. I kind of feel like if you care about democracy, I understand we're a two-party system and that makes people crazy. But if you're polling at 9%,
you're just fucking it up.
Then you're just
a spoiler.
Yes, you're not going to win, and you need to get out and let the best guy who's not going to destroy democracy.
And that's my point too. Look, I don't mind if we have a third. Listen, if we have a third party candidate and it's Mitt Romney, who I know is not going to burn down democracy, and Joe Biden, I'm like, you know what? All right, whatever.
Or Bernie Sanders.
Let somebody have. Bernie Sanders is a little extreme too, though, in certain things. But I will say he does give a shit about the people.
Yes.
That I could be like, all right, the third party candidate, I'm not going to get the word. We have a guy who came out and said, when I become president, I'm going to take my vengeance on everybody who came against me. Which means we're screwed, guys. The three of us are, though. You get it, right? Like, we're going to die. I'm going to die. And we're going to just weird accidents.
Best thing to do is stay in great shape and great health because it's about to get hairy, kids. This episode brought to you by one of our all-time favorite companies, AG1. Boom. I
had it this morning.
Think it's very...
In my smoothie.
I did too. I think it's super important when you're taking supplements and things like that, that you know that they are tested and that they're of a high quality. It's part of why I love this product, because they are relentlessly testing for purity and potency and sourcing from the best places. I did not know this, but they had so far 52 iterations of their formula and counting. So they're not done. They're always trying to find a better way to source, test.
Because
everything.
the dude, this is my favorite thing about the company. I say it every time we do the ad. The dude that invented it didn't invent it to make $1 million.
Yeah.
He invented it because he was sick.
Yes.
And then he fixed his gut health. And he's like, hey, and then someone was like, dude, I had some of that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And they started a company.
He keeps an in-house team of scientists, doctors, nutritionists.
They live at his house?
In the house that AG1 built. It's expert-led scientific research, high-quality ingredients, rigorous testing, above and beyond always industry standards. AG1 is, and you'll feel and notice the difference.
It also is tasty.
I know. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah,
I'm really not sure how they do that.
I think they keep out the lawn clippings that everyone else seems to put in their green stuff.
But if you look at the ingredients, they have it.
All the ingredients are disgusting. So how does it taste so good?
That's
They're
what I mean.
healthy, but
if you read it,
Goes
you're
against
like,
nature.
that's
There's
be,
way too much Brussels sprouts in this for this to taste like this.
Not like Brussels sprouts.
Exactly. They actually test, and we don't talk about this a lot, but if people are on the fence about it, they test for 950 contaminants and banned substances.
Wow.
Industry standard is 10. So they test for that. I think that you will notice a massive difference, and you don't have to take all that other crap. Probiotics, prebiotics, whole food source superfood ingredients, adaptogens, which you guys love. It supports your immune health. I am a testament to that.
Try to stop me from taking some adaptogens.
You guys still don't know what it is.
Sounds awesome.
It just simplifies your health is kind of how I look at it. You can get rid of all that crap on the shelf and just take 1 scoop of AG1 every day, shake it up in a shaker bottle with a little bit of water, add the D3K2 dropper, and you're good. You're good for the day. It
is an amazing addition to my daily health. I like it. It helps me a lot.
It also has rhodiola.
What?
Yeah, well, they source it from rodeos.
No.
What?
And B vitamins.
It's like a pasta.
Oh, that's why the rhodiola and B vitamins are for energy support.
Delicious rhodiola.
Folate, magnesium, ashwagandha for stress support. I used to take ashwagandha by itself. Vitamin C and zinc to support your immune health. It also has digestive enzymes, which I think is why it really helps with your gut issues.
I love that this has become a seminar on this product.
I just love it. I love it. And I'm into health stuff. And it does make me feel better. I am like sort of amazed by how they got it all down into one little scoop. Yes. So everything that your body needs is in this little scoop.
And it doesn't taste like lawn clippings.
So if you want to replace all that crap, multivitamin, probiotics, all that stuff, start with AG1. You can try AG1 and you'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2, that little dropper bottle, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription at drinkag1.com/Titus. That's drinkag1.com/Titus.
Can you do me a favor? Can you bring up RFK? Because RFK, like I was reading when I was writing the Armageddon Update.
I have been.
I was reading about him, and it's nutty. You're like, and that he's polling. Here's the thing. Once Reagan started fucking up education, once education became so expensive, what ends up happening is we lose a lot more educated people. I have this theory about what happened to the country. If you remember correctly, after World War II, Eisenhower came in and built public schools, built the interstate highway system, and education was literally held up as the most important thing. That whole era. Mm-hmm. So that means you had kids in the 50s going to school. Well, those kids became in their 20s in the 60s. Well, they all had social consciousness and they all had critical thinking because they'd been educated so well in the late 40s and the 50s.
Right.
So now it's the 60s and they're standing up to all the bullshit because education, 55, now it's the 60s. So that scared the fuck out of our government because Vietnam happened and basically the protesters shut down Vietnam. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
So then then what happens is they're like, well, we need it. Then Nixon came in and fucked that up. And then disco hit and that just ended everything. But Reagan was told when he was governor of California that an educated proletariat will actually be very hard to control. So first thing Reagan did was start to unwind the California public school system when he was governor. It went from $300 or $100 a semester to $3,000 a semester, which instantly cuts out. Yeah. Anybody, low income people. So then you had that. Then you had him become president in the 80s. And again, he shut down mental health, which is why we have homelessness now. The one thing he did do is he did give for a very callous reason, he gave 13 million immigrants or 11 million immigrants, basically let them come into the country because they were already here anyway.
Give them amnesty
because we needed workers.
Yeah.
And he didn't want the businesses to keep getting in trouble.
Business owners.
It was for the business owners to not
Michael
get in
Steele
trouble.
was talking about that today, how Republicans, they don't ever think through their policies. So they want to build a wall and shut it down. But they also are going to lose their shit when an orange costs $7.
The CEOs are going, no. I need this cheap ass labor.
Right.
California, you guys want to eat? We got, by the way, try to put white people in those fields. It don't work. Mm-hmm. They lasted 3 hours at most. They're like, F this.
They burst into flames, those white people.
You can't put me out there. Look at this.
Like vampires. We just started
Why is that guy smoking? The guy on the grapes, he is smoking. So what happens is, Reagan shut down the entire system. And people always say, oh, that's impossible. That was a long time ago. That's how it works, though. You need to get that generation. So now we've got this uneducated generation that's in their 80s, 90s, they're in their 30s and 40s, mid 40s, and they're Trump supporters going, I fucking believe that JFK's coming back from the dead. Mm-hmm. And that's 100% because of lack of education and not being taught critical thinking.
We've also had a string of these big speaking of conspiracy theories and RFK, a string of big conspiracies that, you know, the JFK assassination was like the first huge one.
Won't go away.
Oh, yeah. And then the
that was
moon landing.
360, yeah.
And then 9/11. And then after that, people were just like, oh, nothing's real. This is all fake.
9/11 is the first one I really remember, but those people were fringy. And then I started dating you, and you had bought into a little of some.
Oh, I went through two phases of this.
You were also in the autism vaccination thing for a while.
It's not that. I did research in it. It's not that. So here's the problem. You can't take you can't take a brand new baby and inject it with a bunch of foreign shit from vaccination before its immune system is formed. So I waited till my kids were 5, and then they got all their vaccinations.
I just liked it. You know, Jenny McCarthy came out and said something about it, and I paid attention.
Yeah, because she got her doctorate in what?
Boobies. Big
She
old
don't
boobies.
need no education.
She got a doctorate in boobies. So, but
booby.
But listen, when Jim Carrey thinks you're nuts, this thing. So there is no research at all. There's 2 studies over the years that back up that it does. Every single one of the stories, the data is all jacked up. It's some of it's anecdotal. There's no closed off testing. There's no control group. So there is no. Now they did in 2001. They took out thimerosal. They took out anything with mercury in it. They took out thimerosal, and they were saying that's just maybe it's not healthy, but it wasn't causing autism. So they also keep redefining what autism is. So everyone has autism now. Well, yeah, but they kept redefining it.
Yeah,
the spectrum got wider. I was on a thing for a little bit because I just didn't. I have a good friend that's a doctor, and he's a homeopathic doctor, and he said you just can't inject brand new babies with this shit. You can't. It's not healthy. And he wasn't saying it was going to give them autism.
I agree with that. On an
Health
intellectual level,
Yeah.
like, okay, that makes sense. I would not want to do that
Mother's
all at once. I didn't do it with my little dogs.
But mother's milk is so good for their immune system. So the kid goes for a couple years, gets around, okay, and at 5, whatever they had to have, okay. But at 5, I was like, oh, now they can have them because they were little operating humans now with immune systems.
With them, I split up their vaccines because they're so little.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I had a Yorkie have a really bad reaction to getting all his shots at once.
Yes, it's kind of a weird thing to put that many shots into a little baby.
Don't they do that now? I mean, it's been 13 years since I've had mine, but don't they do spread? They time them out of like, okay, at 2 you get this one.
I went to a military hospital, and I just remember
they just shoot you with a fucking.
It was like something from
they tell you to run, and then they shoot
put you in a chair, and then needles came at you.
Yeah.
That's what happens at the military. What are we doing here? Don't let them shoot me in that. So RFK, bring up some of his conspiracies. He believes a lot of crazy shit. And by the way, thing with his voice, I talked about it. I made fun of him for his voice. Someone said that he said it was because he got vaccinated with his voice, but that's not true. He had an injury. It's a neurological thing called spasmodic
dysphonia.
Yes, and so his vocal cords vibrate, and now
his sister came out. Her name's Rory, and said that she was very concerned about his presidential campaign. I saw her interview the other night.
What'd she say? This is his sister.
His own Kennedy. Sister. She said, "I love my brother, but I'm very concerned, and I think he needs to stop this." She's concerned that it's going to help Donald Trump win. And she said, this is no time to be effing around, basically.
That's my point, too.
Yeah.
This is again, it's not 2 innocuous guys that aren't going to destroy democracy. It's a guy who's got more experience than anybody and a psychopath, a maniac. This guy's a fucking maniac.
Yeah. He is a maniac. I'm having my allergy medicine is really making, so my nose is running. But my allergy medicine has made me like this, and I'm like over here freaking out.
I am so blessed that I don't have any of this. I've lived in California my whole life, and I don't know. California seasons are quite extreme. When you think about it, rain, we get cold.
Oh, for a few days.
It get cold, and then when it changes, it changes like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like it goes. It goes from like winter, spring.
Have you seen the weather this Friday?
No.
What it's supposed to be like 39 or something. Yeah, 39 degrees.
There's another place in the country too where it's snowing in Michigan.
High
Right?
It was 80 like last week.
54.
It's 81 today. It's snowing.
High of 54.
Wasn't it snowing in Michigan or Wisconsin
No,
now?
they're saying even though it's the third week of spring, the Northeast is looking at a series of blizzards coming.
We're fine.
I don't think science knows.
I don't think science knows. By the way, I've actually changed the weather with a Sharpie. I'm going to put it on this thing.
Do you remember when he changed the hurricane?
my
with a
gosh.
I'll
Sharpie?
change climate on day one.
All because of his own embarrassment at being wrong about something. He changed the path of the hurricane.
It's bigger than that.
Oh, I do remember this.
It's
It was the
bigger-
guy
it's
in
bigger than that.
Alabama.
There's a guy in Alabama
Yeah.
that he sent emergency
Yes.
funds to. And that
That's right.
there was a governor. It was someone in Alabama that
That's
a
right.
FEMA guy that needed emergency funds because the hurricane was going to hit Alabama. So he sent a couple $1 billion
his
to
buddy.
him, and then the hurricane turned and wasn't going to hit Alabama. So he brings out a thing and writes a thing, and that guess what? We never had that money. That money did not get retracted.
How are
That's
we
right.
still learning of the fuck ups that this guy has made
Because-
in just one fucking presidential term?
Because everybody got paid.
Jesus.
That's the problem. And here's the problem. It's that lesson we're all supposed to learn as kids. If you get involved with a criminal, you shouldn't be fucking surprised when you get fucked.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, here's how obvious this dude is. Do you remember he would go to the mic and read that story about you knew I was a scorpion when you put me on your back, the frog and the scorpion? He would tell that he would do this poem about the scorpion just needed a ride across the river.
Yeah.
And asked to talk to the frog, and the frog swam across, and that when he got to the other side, scorpion stung him. And the frog said, "You said you weren't going to sting me." And he goes, "Yeah, but I'm a scorpion. That's what I do." He used to read this at his rallies. He came out and said, "Guys,
He always
hey,
indicates.
Everybody, I want everybody to know I'm going to fuck everybody.
and he said it, and they're like, "We're still going to vote for you."
So RFK Jr. said that Chinese and Ashkenazi Jewish people are less susceptible to COVID-19.
China lost like how many millions of
He
people?
said it targets certain races and gives others immunity. He was caught on camera telling
but
people at a
everything-
dinner that it's targeted to attack white and black people.
Oh my God.
So it's designed, first of all, everybody has a different reaction genetically to all things.
I know people that were white people that were exposed to it. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. You never got it.
I never got it.
Neither did Jin.
Me
Yeah.
and the Jews and who else?
And the Chinese.
The Chinese.
Yeah.
Suck
Right,
it,
so the
bitch.
Chinese, Ashkenazi Jews,
And Highlander.
Ken.
He said the U.S. put hundreds of millions into ethnically targeted microbes, and that labs in the Ukraine collected Russian and Chinese DNA so we could target people by race. That's a lot of specifics.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I come down to this. Give me that evidence, please.
Yeah, he doesn't have it.
He doesn't. Oh, wait. Oh, he just says this. He doesn't have any evidence of this.
Mm-mm.
Huh. That's weird.
He blames Prozac for mass shootings.
That's what he said. They came out and said that. Not the guns. It's not the guns.
Prozac is pulling the
Well,
trigger.
his evidence is that we had none of those events prior to Prozac.
We actually had a
That's a false
we
equivalency.
had a mass weapons ban. We had a ban for fucking 20 years until fucking
He
Bush.
said 2004 election was stolen.
That was
Wait,
that
which one? The
that was-
2004?
That helped Bush steal the victory from John Kerry.
John Kerry? I thought that was
Al Gore. Isn't that Al Gore? The Hanging
It
Chads?
says
2004,
2004
2001.
allowed W to steal the victory from the Democrat John Kerry.
If you remember, I don't agree with that.
Democratic Party did a postmortem breakdown in 2005 and they found no evidence.
Do you know why? Because if you remember correctly, everybody got behind Bush because 9/11. So 9/11 hit.
He called for unity.
Called for
Everybody
unity,
was
right?
like, oh,
So
wow.
I think I may have even voted the second time, but then he fucked it with that.
I did.
I mean, because I was like, this guy's in deep shit.
CIA was involved in the assassination of JFK.
Well, it's like you said in the Armageddon update.
No, I know. Don't you remember what happened with John Kerry? I remember this. Fucking John Kerry said he said that he did all this shit in the military and they found out he was lying. He said there was a bunch of there's a bunch of shit that he said he did and he didn't do it. And they went
See,
after
back then, you get one fuck up and you're out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, now it's
I was thinking that about John Edwards too.
Yeah.
Who Jack Smith brought down
for one or two things.
I just remember him. It was yet another of politician standing at the mic while their blonde wife shamefully stares at her feet because she's putting up with his shit, and he's resigning.
Over like,
We
I
don't
looked
have
at
that
porn.
anymore.
Al
You're out.
Franken.
Oh,
Yeah.
Al Franken.
For one thing.
It was a joke. It was.
Oh.
She was. No. John Kerry, if you remember correctly. So John Kerry started out the campaign very, very firm. This is what I believe this was going to happen. And as whoever was on his campaign, he started doing that. He started just changing his opinions, and that's why I was like, I can't. This guy doesn't believe in anything. And that's why I didn't vote for John Kerry mistakenly.
Pharmaceutical industry is throwing money at Democrats. He says after the ACA, Democrats are getting more money from pharma than Republicans.
Okay.
That's actually, if you
look at it, it's not true.
Yeah.
They're actually mad because
23 of the country's biggest drug companies and 2 pharmaceutical trade orgs have favored Republicans in 14 of the past 16 elections.
And if you look at the number of people, if you look at the number on this, it's crazy. It's like over the last 10 years, it's $478 million.
Tell me again why we don't have healthcare?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I
He
wonder why.
says that gun ownership in Switzerland is similar to the United States. He vows to not take away anyone's guns, but he said there's obviously data that shows U.S. civilians possess an average of 120.5 firearms per 100 people, highest per capita in the world compared to 27.6 in Switzerland.
Yeah.
He just says shit like Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's...
But again, I think Highlander's dead right. Let's back this crazy guy so the other crazy guy doesn't look so
all
crazy.
these court cases and all of this
Yeah.
negative bullshit.
COVID-19 was genetically engineered. Dr. Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates sought to exaggerate the pandemic in part to promote the vaccines. He put that in his book.
I love this, like, vaccines just got invented. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like George Washington literally infected his troop. They gave him a reduced smallpox vaccine so they could fight because they didn't want smallpox. This goes back to George
fucking 100 years ago.
Washington.
And wait a second, John F. Kennedy wrote, passed a bill or something like the Vaccine Act or something.
Yeah,
so that would we can look that up.
Because I was a
I
kid.
wasn't alive
Yeah,
then.
you look at JFK's vaccine bill.
Remember when we were in high school during the summer of '69? Yeah.
In the summer.
You just
During
walk
the-
in, they'd pat you with a thing.
And you had a big cigarette burn on your
Yeah, I still
shoulder.
have it. I think
Do you
I
have
still-
it?
I think I still have the thing.
He had a proposed statement regarding the importance of vaccinations for poliomyelitis.
Yeah, by the way,
JFK did.
as I will say this, I don't see a lot of people that are still poly.
Yeah.
Coming back, though.
Polionis is gone.
They're bringing
It's coming back since
polio
people hit
back.
So then what they
Vaccines cause autism. You said that.
did. Yep. I looked it up just to make sure I was right.
That's
Nope.
been debunked like 100 times
There-
since then.
There is not one study, no one valid study that says it does.
This is like if Andy Kaufman was
And
running
that's what
was
it
a
feels
fucking
like.
third party
Yeah.
Do you remember?
candidate.
Do you remember when
Crazy.
before Trump got elected, we were saying that? I go, "This is Andy Kaufman's better because he's Tony Clifton. He's
Oh,
Tony Clifton." And then it became real. And now we've got a guy like Orban. We've got this fucking guy that says flat out, he's not lying. He's telling you what's going to happen. And then they interview these people at these rallies and they go, "I think we need a dictator." Do you even know what the fuck you're talking about? Like, do you know what
Ask
happens?
Navalny, or ask the people that just wanted to come out and pay respects to the guy who they liked that got murdered, and they're in
They
jail.
got beat
or
down.
beaten.
Yes.
Ask 6 million Jews. Oh, wait, you can't.
What about the Wall Street Journal reporter who's been in a Russian prison for
For a year.
They
Yep.
haven't even given him a trial date.
You got, but the big
what about,
stupids.
Brittany
Griner.
Griner, basketball player. I mean, it's like
What about all these rappers? I mean,
Huh?
Puff Daddy.
The big stupids just keep going. They don't even know what words mean. You know, and you know, the saddest part for me is there's people in my life that I know and I love dearly that will literally pop off the shit I just heard Trump say at a rally
Yes.
with no
a script.
backup. The problem is
if we don't end
sometimes
soon, I gotta go get clean.
sometimes she's in the room with them and she doesn't. You're better at it than I am because you actually have a way of leading them through.
Oh, is it done?
Here, give it to
Warm
me.
and you know,
Oh.
it's,
We're gonna have to bring it home
we
sometime
done with
soon
it?
because my nose is running
Oh, I
away
didn't know. I was
and
waiting
I'm
for the next.
itchy.
I'm always waiting for the next.
Oh
one.
no!
So RFK is just another chaos agent, and you need to, you know, that's
disregard
what he
him.
is.
just
disregard them. You can't, guys. If you want to keep democracy, you got to vote for Biden and every Democrat. You know why? Every time the Democrats get involved, guess what happens? We make progress. We get more rights. They don't take them away. The Republicans have taken away so many rights. Remember that, guys. We are going to be filming Carrion Monsters on April 13th at the El Portal Theater. If you guys are local, El Portal
Teatro.
If you want to go to the show, go to ChristopherTitus.com for tickets. And also, we are going to be doing the
Go
Netflix.
to ChristopherTitus.com for tickets. It helps support what he's doing and the production that we're doing. But if you are close by and you are struggling and you can't afford it, please
go to the contact page.
Go to the contact page on the website, because we don't want people to miss out on a night of laughter just because their boss sucks.
Right.
So, and we have 2 shows, 7 and 9:30, after party after the second show. So just hit us up and let us know and we'll take care of you.
But also, fast food places have to pay to everybody $20 an hour now. That happened yesterday.
Yep.
In California?
Yep. Have to.
Wow. All fast food places?
Every fast food. Yep.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, you have May 2nd at the Kookaburra Lounge.
Yes, for the Netflix is a Joke
Kicking
Festival.
off the Netflix is a Joke Festival. That's going to be a super fun night. We'll be there with our friends, and you guys should be as well. And then you're going to do one night only at
Irvine Improv.
At the Irvine Improv, April 11th.
That's the prep show. That is the prep show. I might see if we can get the crew down there to watch it. So
Final time before it gets filmed. So I'll be there as well, April 11th. And then also April 18th, the week right after that, we're doing one show only one night in Ontario at the Ontario Improv. We love that club.
I love that club.
The next weekend, April 26th and 27th, we are going back to New Mexico. We have not been there, to the Santa Ana casino in Pueblo, New Mexico.
Say it like you mean it, like you said. El Portal.
Santa Ana.
Thank you.
Pueblo.
Thank you. Thank you, pretty.
Santa Ana Star Casino. We loved that room. Such a nice room. Yep. Nice casino. So
and guys,
that's the 26th and 27th.
Guys, do me a favor. Keep watching on the YouTube channel, Christopher Titus TV. By the way,
I got 2 more to tell them.
Go more.
That they might not know about.
Okay.
While he honks. May 11th, we're doing one show at the Memorial Theater. So for all of our Ohio people that we see in Columbus and all the areas around there, this is a chance to come and see this in a theater, Memorial Theater, Mount Vernon, Ohio, May 11th. And then we just added May 22nd at the San Jose Improv. We have not been there in a long time. So May 22nd just got added. Go to the tour page on ChristopherTitus.com and see all this other stuff we've added.
Are you done?
I'm never done.
That's true. You know, I think what's bothers me the most about today is I'm surrounded by snot, honestly.
You're welcome.
So our buddy Jim, who comes to the show all the time.
We love Jim.
Made the craziest.
Jim Harrison. Right?
Jim Harrison, yeah. Made the craziest. That's Jim and us. But this book, guys, he went through every special.
And then next to, there's the poem there's the Christmas page. Every special with lines, like
there's
jokes
there's
from
jokes
the
in
special.
here.
The best jokes. I'm a genius. I read some of them like, I'm genius. I'm hilarious. But how cool is it? He spent 2 years.
Us at different shows with him. We've seen him all over. Yep. He has his tickets. Look at that. He's got the tickets.
I have to say that he wins.
Yeah.
He wins the fan competition.
That's a story about you, but you didn't make it. There's an Alpha Chick page.
Yeah, the Alpha Chick. That's right. Yeah.
And ticket stubs for that. I mean, he kept. There's where he gave me the shirt. How be ever.
Yep.
It's just the coolest thing ever. It's like so thorough.
Your family didn't even make this for you.
No, yeah. There's no one that loves me this much. Nobody loves me this much. See the look I just got?
I give you the most thoughtful gifts ever. You lose in that department. I win. Anyway,
I do pretty good.
The coolest thing ever.
A lot of them are automotive themed, but that's okay.
It's funny. Yes, I told my sister what
Very good, Jim. Thank you.
You gave me for Easter, my Easter basket, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna really love that." She thought I was telling her what I got you just from hearing it, and it's automotive.
All right, so here's the thing.
No, it's fine. Anyway, Jim, you are awesome.
No, I'm going to say this. So for Easter, her GTO She got a GTO for her anniversary. She doesn't like the wheels on it. So I found the wheels she wanted because, and I got it.
I wasn't going to tell any of that.
Why?
But carry on.
Well, I got you other stuff too that you wanted.
You did. You always give me very nice stuff. Actually, all my friends think that too. You always you pick things out always from the time when we were first dating and you did shows in New York. We had just started dating and he picked out clothes for me and sent them to me and I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good, and I ended up wearing that stuff to death, if you remember.
I still remember the green one with the angel wings on it. Guys, go to Christopher Titus TV on YouTube. We have done 2 episodes of Titus called The Homecoming that wraps up the entire series. Go see The Homecoming. I'm surprised that every night when I'm signing posters, people don't know we did it.
Yeah.
So I want to bring it. And also all 8 specials are 8 of 9 or 9 now. 9 specials are up online, so you guys can watch for free. We've left them up there because of COVID, but there's no point. There's no point in. I'm still trying to get over this thing I had in my lungs. Thank you, Portland Helium this weekend.
Oh,
this
you
weekend,
had so much fun.
This weekend was a monster. I needed that club because that club is so good. I needed it to because this show. I was like, oh, I'm not wrong. Ohio was wrong.
On Saturday, I took my pink tool bag and went over to my friend Amber's house and spackled and sanded and painted and hung pictures.
I want you to know pink tool bag is not a euphemism. It's actually
it's actually real. Neither is spackled her walls. Because I said that to my sister and she goes, tell me that isn't a euphemism. Tell me you really mean drinking.
She took a pink tool bag and spackled my walls. Boom.
Spackled the holes. Turns out I'm the man in this relationship, is what I'm saying.
Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go to ChristopherTitus.com for anything. We've updated the website. Ken's did an amazing job on it. And we are...
New episode of Knock 'em Dead is coming out with the comedian Slade Ham, who was my very best friend for many years. I told everybody he was my brother. Very funny comic, and he is on this. Is going to be on this one coming out this weekend. So go check that out.
Yeah, everybody. I had some people come up to me during the show, and they thanked me. You weren't in Portland because Chappie was sick, and they said, "Tell Ray thank you for Knock 'em Dead." I had like 12 people.
Oh, I love Portland. That was one I was sad to miss.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. I'm always available for Mississippi or Alabama.
Where are we going? Florida.
Oh, God. Portland, that's the one? Okay.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And now it's time for
Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts.
Yeah.
Let's talk about going back in time.
Is it possible?
Well,
the CERN
the right
collider
wants us to go back anyway. So let's
go
all the way back.
Let's go back in time. So just become a Republican is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, back to dictators, actual dictators. The word well, here's another segue. Let's do this segue instead. It's springtime, so you got to get in shape for the summer.
Right.
So it's summertime. All right.
What?
The other one was better.
I don't get it.
The word gymnasium comes from the Greek word gymnasian.
I'm not quite. Guys, they'll never know. They'll never know. They'll think we made up a whole new language.
That alone. But here's what's funny too. It means school for naked exercise. I'm all for
the Greeks, man.
That's because ancient Greek athletes largely eschewed clothing, instead covering themselves in oil and dust.
Yeah, they invented Lululemon yet. I mean, what are you going to work on a toga?
Oil and dust. What?
No, you're just going to be tripping all over it.
They had a little mini toga. The first recorded nude athlete was Orsippus Nopantis, who competed.
That's not his name. You made that up.
Who competed in the 15th Olympic Games in 750, blah, blah, blah.
Was he the first guy to compete in the Olympics naked? Because this guy's really bringing it.
According to some ancient scholars, his loincloth fell off during the race, and he ran on to victory. A rival story paints a different picture.
But the aerodynamics changed.
I was going to say, he slowed down considerably. Or not.
And by the way, in the last mile, you heard this. This slap.
Oh my God.
His pink toolbox was flapping in the wind.
He needed spackle.
Yeah, wow.
My spackle is also pink, isn't it?
Yes, you brought pink spackle. Yes, you did.
Not kidding. Took
No,
my
she
pink
did that.
spackle.
She did.
That's how you know when it
By the way,
dries.
she spackled my closet. It just gets weirder. No matter what we say. Then she sanded it smooth. It's just getting weirder. This doesn't. We cannot top construction when you look like you look. It's just anything you say is weird. Anything.
I mean, everything.
I
Hammer,
am
nail.
very handy, and that's all.
Handy. You can't say it. For myself, the lovely
Oh my
bombshell and the
gosh.
Highlander later.
Peace out.
Are you really want?
It's just because you.
I didn't say handsy. I said handy.
It's
Do you know what they?
hand. And
Handy? I know what you're. I like that he's like, do you know what we're alluding to? Huh?